Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan. First of all, let us give thanks to the presence of God Almighty, who has given health and strength so that I can deliver a speech in commemoration of World HIV/AIDS Day. Dear audience, on this day, I will convey a little information about HIV/AIDS. As we know, many people in the world are affected by this disease. This disease is classified as dangerous because it can take the life of its victims. AIDS, or acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, is caused by the HIV virus. HIV causes the body's immunity to decrease in fighting viral infections. Bacteria and fungi easily damage the immune system. Symptoms of AIDS infection vary depending on the pace of infection and last for years. For example, sufferers experience high fever or chills for several weeks, headache, diarrhea, white stains on the tongue or mouth, blurred vision, sweating at night, and fatigue that doesn't go away. In children, symptoms may occur such as difficulty gaining weight, difficulty developing normally, difficulty walking, mental decline, as well as ear infections, pneumonia, and tonsillitis. Normally, white blood cells and antibodies attack and destroy organisms that enter the body. This response is regulated by white blood cells, namely CD4 lymphocytes. These lymphocytes target the main HIV. Once it enters the body, the virus will insert its genetic material into the lymphocytes and multiply. When the new virus leaves the stem cell and enters the bloodstream, it attacks other cells, and CD4 cells will die. This cycle repeats itself, causing immune damage, which means that body will not be able to fight off other bacterial and viral infections. Factors in the occurrence of HIV/AIDS, for example, changing sex partner frequently, having contact with HIV-positive people, having an STD or sexually transmitted disease, such as syphilis, herpes, chlamydia, gonorrhea, or bacterial vaginosis, alternating in the use of needles, receiving blood transfusion from people infected with this HIV virus. Offspring will have HIV and have some CCL3L1 linkages that help fight HIV infections. Ladies and gentlemen, until now there has not been found a vaccine to prevent the HIV virus. So, we can prevent it ourselves by knowing what HIV is and knowing how it is transmitted, knowing the health status of partners, using sterile needles, being vigilant when going to the blood transfusion stations, and carrying out routine health checks. People affected by HIV/AIDS don't deserve to be ostracized. They even have to get reasonable behavior so that sufferers don't feel inferior or afraid. So, now that we know a little about HIV/AIDS, are we still going to open our arms to promiscuity? Not, right? Hopefully we all don't fall into promiscuity. Better to prevent than cure. Because if you make even the slightest mistake in association, the impact you will get will be very detrimental to yourself, your family, and others. Dear audience, I think that's all my speech. I hope it is useful for you all. I am so sorry for any words or behavior that unpleasant your heart. Thank you very much for the occasion and your kind attention.